Today we are going to discuss about uh, absolute absolute pressure, temperature and volume. Okay, so we'll start with pressure. So uh, pressure is a we know what is a pressure. Pressure is a unit quantity which will be measured for any fluid. That means maybe a gas or maybe a liquid. Okay, so pressure is defined as force per unit area. With the force is resistance offered by the fluid. So in order to measure the resistance we have to measure the force. So force by unit area, force per unit area, that is equal to pressure. Okay, so pressure will be measured in two forms. One is absolute pressure and another one is gauge pressure. Another one is gauge pressure. So gauge pressure can be defined like this. So if you use a gauge to measure the pressure, then it is called gauge pressure. Coming to the absolute pressure, here this absolute means absolute of any value equals positive value of that, right? So similarly, absolute pressure means pressure will be always positive. That means there will be no negative absolute pressure, only positive absolute pressure. Okay, so in order to define this difference between or relation between absolute pressure and gauge pressure, there is an analogy how to say. As you know, as we discussed, there will be no negative absolute pressure, so everything will start as absolute zero pressure. That means here the absolute pressure will be zero, and we know that atmospheric pressure will be somewhere here. Okay, this is atmospheric pressure. Okay, so now if you measure this absolute pressure from absolute zero, this is known as atmospheric pressure and its value is, you know, this value 1.01325 bar. Okay, so if you want to say there are 2 points, okay, here one point which is called A and here another point which is called B. So if you measure the absolute pressure, this will be the absolute pressure for A and this will be the absolute pressure for B. So if you use a gauge pressure, the reference point will be atmospheric pressure. So this is the gauge pressure for this point A. So for this point, this will be the gauge pressure per point B. So from here, so if you can see here for gauge pressure, this is the gauge 0. So that means here this will be the negative pressure, which is called as vacuum pressure. Okay. So if you want a relation between absolute pressure and gauge pressure at A, this is equal to, so from here to here equal to this plus this, right? So this is called P gauge plus P atmosphere. Okay. So if you want to write absolute pressure at B, then so if you want to evaluate this value, this will be equal to this minus this. So this is equal to P atmospheric pressure minus P gauge pressure. So for positive gauge pressures, this is the formula. For negative gauge pressures, this is the formula. This is the relation between absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Okay. So coming to the units, so generally pressure will be measured in pascals. Okay, pascals means it is also known as Newton per meter square. So this can also be measured in bar. So generally relation between bar and pascal is 1 bar equal to 1 into 10 power 5 pascals or Newton per meter square. Okay, or this can also be written as 100 kilopascals. So if we generally use one more unit, which is called mm of Hg. Okay, so generally one atmospheric pressure, that means that is equal to 1.01325 bar is equal to approximately, this is 760 mm of Hg. Okay, so 760 mm of Hg. This is also a unit for pressure. So this is generally also liquid column. So mercury column of Hg. Okay, or mercury. Similarly, you can also write it in meters of water. Any liquid column you can use to measure the pressure. Okay, so coming to the absolute temperature. So here also I am saying there will be absolute temperature. That means there will be no negative scale. Okay, negative scale. Negative scale. Okay, so absolute temperature is measured using absolute scale, or this is also known as Kelvin scale. So here this Kelvin scale is very important. Yes, we know that so ordinary temperature, so which is known to us, is measured using degree centigrade or degree Fahrenheit. So here you can say that there will be negative degree centigrade and also negative value for degree Fahrenheit. For absolute scale there won't be negative, as absolute defines that there are only positive values. Okay, so the relation between degree centigrade and Kelvin is, so this is denoted using small t, this is denoted using capital T. So T equal to T plus 273. That means for 0 degree centigrade the temperature will be in Kelvin, it will be 273 Kelvin. Okay, similarly for 0 Kelvin the temperature in degree centigrade will be minus 273 degrees centigrade. Okay, so capital T will be always positive. So you have to remember this conversion whenever there is a formula like this. Say if it is a difference, that means say Q is equal to mCp delta T. So here delta T will be equal to delta capital T, because the difference will be same. Say suppose the temperature is T1 equal to 5 degrees centigrade and T2 equal to 10 degrees centigrade. This will be equal to 278 Kelvin, this 288 Kelvin. So delta T will be 10 minus 5 5, and also delta T will be same. Sorry, this is 273, also equal to 5 Kelvin. Whereas if there is a ratio, that means some formulas will be like this. Okay, mCp ln T2 by T1. So here T is in capitals and you have to submit in Kelvin. If you submit in degree centigrade, then this will be 10 by 5, whereas in Kelvin it will be 283 by 278. So this much of difference will be there. That is why you have to remember that you have to convert degree centigrade in Kelvin as soon as you get the values from a problem. Okay, so this is very important. You should always submit temperature in Kelvin when there is a ratio, this like this, or maybe this is also. Okay, this kind of ratio should be submitted in Kelvin. So this is absolute temperature and absolute scale. We'll go to volume. So volume is very important in thermodynamics, because all the graphs you will draw like PV diagrams. Here volume is the space occupied by any fluid. So we are concentrating here only on fluid, that means gas or liquid. So for liquid the volume will be constant, only the shape will differ, whereas for gas the volume is whatever the volume of the container. If the container is in large size, the volume also will be in large size. So volume units are generally used is meter cube. So 1 meter cube of equal to 1 into, for 1 meter there are 100 centimeters, so 100 cube centimeter cube. So that is equal to 1 million centimeter cube. This centimeter cube is also written as generally cubic centimeter, which is cc. So this is equal to, this is also, and also we know one more unit, which is 1 liter is equal to 1000 cc. Okay, so this becomes 1000 liters. So 1 meter cube equal to 1000 liters and 1 liter equal to 1000 cc. Okay, this is volume.